We are back, you guys. We've got the RX-7 in the fab area, and I was thinking about the next step, and I'm waiting on a bunch of parts to finish up the fab work on the motor in terms of getting the motor ready to run. But I figured while I'm waiting for those parts, I can go ahead and get the whole motor drivetrain out of this thing so that we can start at least mounting the motor, because I need to make motor mounts for it. It is an REW going into an FCRX7. So with that being said, the mounting area on the motor, the FC motors mount in the middle of the motor, and then the FD motors mount on the back of the motor. So I'm gonna have to make some mounts for it. So I figured while I'm waiting for all that stuff, I think it'd be best to go ahead and get everything ripped out of the car and then get everything prepped to drop the motor, and then put the motor in and start making mounts. So we got the car here. We are gonna get it set on the lift. I gotta pull off the side skirts to get the lift legs in, and then I think we're gonna pull off the front bumper. This is a big moment. Last time there was no motor in this car was, I don't know, I want to say like 2017, 2018. And that was when the motor blew and my girlfriend and I actually did our very first rotary rebuild. It was the motor that is right now in this car. That was the first motor that we ever built. So, you know, it's a big moment. I've done a lot with this car. Even before then, it was my first car, it was my daily driver, and now, you know, it's crazy to be at a point where I can finally turbo it. I've built motors for other people, I've helped other people turbo their cars, and it's finally my turn to have a turbo set up in my car, and it's really cool. But it is kind of a bummer, you know. I, for the most part, have always had this car running, and for the most part, again, driving. So it's kind of a bummer for me to be pulling the motor out of this thing, even though it runs and drives fine. It's been, I mean, we're coming up on I want to say like 4 years, something like that, 5 years, maybe even more, of this motor running since our rebuild, and it's ran strong, it's done a lot. So I think it's only fitting that before I start this video, I am going to add in a few clips of some of my more favorite moments. I think it's only fitting that I do a little montage for you guys so you can see why this car is so near to my heart, and also for me to look back on all of the fun that I've had with this motor and with this setup. So we're gonna do a little video montage of everything that this car has done for me up to this point, and kind of reminisce on the past, we'll say. So as you guys can see from the montage, this car's been through a lot of iterations, a lot of different versions. I've done literally everything to this car myself. This car is what I learned on. It's what I learned to do cars on. Like I said, it was my first car. It's how I learned to work on rotaries. It's honestly the reason that I'm better working on rotaries than I am on a piston motor. And you know, this car was my day one car, and it's always given me good times. It's always given me fun, and it's taught me everything from working on rotaries to electrical stuff to diagnosis to learning to drift. learning to start doing performance mods, learning fabrication. I mean, I just taught myself how to do a livery on this car, and it's pretty cool. Car means a lot to me, but enough of the mushy stuff. Let's get into this build. We got to get this thing racked up on the lift and then start getting everything prepped. I think I'm going to tear all the electrical off first, drain all the fluids. Not going to be the funnest thing. Right now it is 10 o'clock in the morning and it's already 96 degrees. It's gonna go much higher than that. We're looking at the 105 to 110 degree area, so it's gonna be toasty, but we're gonna power through. We're gonna dive into this thing and start getting it prepped to throw the new turbo FD motor in it. Well, the body kit is off. Let me just say, this thing looks so weird without the body kit on because it looks so tall. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but this thing, like, with the body kit, it's not crazy. It's not crazy low, but like, without the body kit on it, or at least the, you know, the over fenders, front bumper, like, this thing's got a ton of space. It's kind of nice for street driving it because everything but the body kit clears. Anyways, so we got that stuff off. I'm gonna get this thing rolled back, get it on the lift, and then we'll start figuring out what the plan is as far as disassembling everything. I think I'm gonna start with disconnecting the battery and then just focus on everything connected to the motor and the transmission. And then pretty much, once we get all that stuff disconnected, it should be relatively simple to drop everything out of this car. FCs luckily are really easy to pull the motor and trans. We're gonna start getting everything disconnected, start draining fluids, and then move on from there. We are officially shutting down power for the last time until this thing is ready to fire up with the new motor. That's insane. Wait for it. There you go. Last time this thing's gonna have power until it's got a turbo motor. That is crazy. One last shot of this thing before it comes out. Well, we are getting there. We got the cooling system disconnected, still got to get oil lines. I got to unbolt the electric power steering. We got alternator off, intake off, and most of the stuff connected to the motor off. I need to disconnect the engine harness from inside the car and pull it through so I can throw it on top of the motor. But it's the hottest part of the day. We're hitting about 105, 110 right now. So I think I'm gonna take a break till the sun goes down. But before I do that, I kind of made a realization of something I can do to keep myself shade throughout the day. As you can see, I've got an easy up set up right now, but it's too low for the car to go up on the lift. So what I'm thinking is This Easy Up pretty much goes up to the cover I have here and up to the lift. So I'm thinking I can make mounts on the lift and then on the edge of the cover piece for the Easy Up to mount to, so that it is the height of the lift and I can still use the lift but have shade. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna do that, a quick little side quest, because what's better than in the hottest part of the day to do some welding and fabrication. So I'm gonna take some measurements, get some templates going, and then see what I can come up with to make this happen. So that is a quick template that I can use to kind of design the next step. I think I'm going to put some tabs on this. So here's a general idea of the first two parts to get you guys kind of caught up, because I know there's a ton of lines. So that is this piece here. You can see the cutout for the Easy Up foot. And then we have another one on this side. So basically this part's going to get cut out, this part's going to get cut out, and I'm going to cut here all the way down, here down, and then this one will just have a cut here and a cut here. I'm going to clean both of those guys up and then we'll start bending. Well, it ain't perfect, but I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a filler weld here, but basically I'm gonna weld that in, and I'm gonna try and make this guy bend at a 90 degree, but we'll see. On to the next one. And there's number 2. So, holes.
Many unbearable hours later.
Well, as normal, I spent a little bit too long on that, but the proof of concept is there. Yeah, I ended up taking a break during the hottest part of the day, and then came out here and got this done. I at least got these brackets. I still need to weld them on the back sides, but they are bolted through. Let's see, yeah, they are bolted through. They clear the mechanism for the lift on both sides, but this is the proof of concept. Main thing being that it clears, or it's level with this bar here. So if a car goes up on the lift, it's not going to hit that. Also, since cars have hoods, if the hood's up, it should be able to go up into the top area of the canopy. But yeah, so I am going to take this down now that I put it up to see if it works, and then we're gonna get back going on the motor for the RX-7. I hope that's everything. Hey, who knew that the wipers went through the engine harness? That's cool. I think it is time to go under the car and get the starter disconnect. And all the transmission wiring undone. And then I think we're pretty much on the home stretch, minus the power steering to drop this thing. Already got the starter relay wire disconnected. Starter coming out. Would definitely be excited to go through all of these plugs and wires and rewire everything, since all of this is kind of was quick repair stuff before events. And that, my friends, is the last time this dude is being connected to this chassis for this turbo setup. Or I guess before the turbo setup. Alright guys, so we've got everything around the engine cleared off. You can see we got a nice gap here, nothing connected. Then also on this side, everything here is disconnected, ready to go. We got the chain on and the hoist ready. So basically we've got the motor mounts unbolted already. We've got to unbolt 2 last transmission bolts and this whole thing will slide out. So we are going to do that real quick. I've got my boy Sean, he's gonna help me get this thing pulled out, so it's just gonna be easier with 2 people. So yeah, everything's ready to go. I got to slip under and pull the trans bolts and then we're ripping this thing out. So here we go. All right, so I'm gonna slip under, unbolt the trans, and then we're gonna rip this thing out. That engine mount's hitting. Okay, out. And it officially has no motor, no trans, and no drive shaft. Got the motor kind of just thrown off to the side and trans. We got the drive shaft over there. So next, I think for now, the next move is gonna be to start working on getting the diff set up for the turbo setup. So the diff is one of the clutch type LSDs. I need to weld all the plates of that. And then we'll have to clean the turbo 2 transmission. And then once those are done, the only other thing I have to do before mounting the motor is going to be sending the flywheel out to get resurfaced. Once that's resurfaced, we can put the trans on the motor in the car, and then start figuring out the motor mounts. So I think this might be it for this video. I appreciate you coming along for me ripping this motor out. Like I said earlier, this is kind of a sad but happy moment. This motor is done really well, and I think I might have more plans for this motor. The motor's not bad, it's still running strong, still got good compression, so I think we might throw this into another car, but we'll see. For now though, I appreciate you guys. As always, like, comment, subscribe. If there's anything that you saw of concern or anything that you would be interested in getting more information on, feel free to comment. And lastly, check the links down below. I'll have my Etsy site on there. As always, supporting the channel by buying merch is really appreciated. It helps me keep doing this stuff. It helps me keep making videos for you guys. So with that, it's nighttime here. It's time to go to bed. I appreciate you guys. Peace out.